If you want to get a good quality Casio watch according to your needs, then watch the video till the end and then decide. Wouldn't you love a Rolex Submariner? Or maybe you're an Omega Speedmaster kind of guy. Some of you might even dream of owning a Breitling Navitimer. Most guys dream of owning a luxury watch, but that $3,000 plus price point isn't attainable for many men. Let's be honest, you've got bills to pay and a family to care for. You can't drop that kind of money on a vanity purchase. So let's get started. At number 1 position, we have Casio World Time Watch. No watch demonstrates this better than the World Time Watch by Casio. This digital timepiece includes a built-in stopwatch, timer, and 5-point daily alarm. However, those are mere novelties compared to this watch's most impressive function. You may have noticed this watch features 4 different displays, a larger one across the bottom of the face, and then 3 smaller ones above it. You can display any time zone worldwide simply by cycling through them with one of this watch's many side buttons. A map indicates where in the world this time zone relates to, and the circular display in the top left shows a digital-style analog watch that consistently shows your hometown time zone. Moving on to the next at number 2 with GShock Casio DW5600. The GShock Casio watch range came into being through a desire to create an indestructible watch. After 10 years and 200 prototypes, Casio finally released the original GShock watch, arguably the toughest timepiece on the planet. As the name would suggest, this watch is incredibly shock-resistant. The casing surrounding the watch face is rugged and durable, making it perfect for guys who enjoy the outdoors and take part in extreme sports. But don't be fooled. Just because this watch is rugged doesn't mean it sacrifices accuracy. Elapsed, split, and final time are accurate to within 1 to 100 seconds, so don't worry. When you're free climbing up the face of Yosemite, you can bet you'll be able to tell the exact time with pinpoint accuracy. This GShock Casio watch comes in various colors and editions. Take your pick. They're all awesome. The number 3 position is held by Casio A168W-1. Do you miss the 80s? I know I do. There was something oddly pleasing about wearing a simple digital watch without it being considered old school. To be honest, the fact that this style of watch is now regarded as retro makes me feel very old. Regardless, there's something to be said for the fact that the Casio A168W-1 is still alive and kicking in the 21st century. After all, its features are pretty basic and can be easily accessed on any modern smartphone. However, that's not why people love this watch. The classic silver band, the emerald green backlight, that timeless black bezel, it's a unique style that no other watch brand could pull off. In short, this watch is a style choice many guys make to relive the glory days. Frankly, I don't blame them. This is an excellent watch. It features a basic stopwatch, daily alarm, yearly calendar, and 12 24-hour formatting option. Basically, everything A. Next at number 4, we have Casio F91W. The F91W is essentially the cheaper version of the A168W-1. Instead of a metal casing, the F91W has plastic construction. That's pretty much the only difference between the two. However, I've included this as a separate item on my list because of its use worldwide. Fun fact, both US presidents and deadly terrorists have worn the F91W. Mr. Obama wore this watch during his younger years as a student in the 80s. Conversely, Osama bin Laden wore this watch at the height of his notoriety as the world's most dangerous terrorist. In fact, terrorists regularly use these classic Casio watches as a component in terrorist IED. Not that we should hold that against Casio. It's not like they're providing them for this purpose. You can pick up an F91W for around $15, making it a very attractive and cost-effective watch for both regular guys and deadly terrorists. The number 5 position is held by GShock Casioak. Okay, the Casioak isn't an official GShock Casio watch. It's a nickname given to the GShock Casio watch GA2100. This watch looks incredibly similar to the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak, a luxury Swiss watch retailing for upwards of $20,000. Thus it became known as the Casio AK. Did Casio intend to copy the distinctive faceplate of the Royal Oak? Who knows? It's not a direct copy, and it does have its own distinctive features, so we won't hold this similarity against them. Unlike the $20 Royal Oak, this GShock watch brags a timer, stopwatch, backlight, and water resistance of up to 200 m. So, in theory, Doesn't that mean you're getting more bang for your buck with classic Casio watches? If you want a classy-looking watch with a host of great features and a low price of around $99, check out the GShock G82100. The number 6 position is dominated by Edifice EFV100. There isn't too much to be said about the Edifice Casio EFV100. It's a classic Casio watch with a slight twist. It isn't digital. Casio designed the Edifice range to appeal to the more professional man. The EFV100 is one of many Edifice watches appropriate to wear in a business environment. While many guys don't find an issue with wearing a digital watch and a suit, the traditionalists among us may want something more akin to the look of a dive watch, chronograph, or dress watch. Enter Edifice, Casio's answer to analog enthusiasts. The EFV100 features a straightforward design. A black watch face, silver body, and date window are all you get with this one. It's a classic sports watch that doesn't try to do anything out of the ordinary. It tells the time, gives you the date, and can be worn up to 100 m underwater. Moving on to the next at number 7 with Casio Calculator Watch. Let's get back to those feature-packed digital watches, shall we? The Calculator Watch does what it says on the tin. It's a calculator that sits on your wrist like a watch. Once again, this is a throwback to the 80s when digital watches reigned supreme. In fact, this one actually features in the vintage collection on the Casio website, which makes me feel ancient, quite frankly. The standout feature of this watch is the 16-button watch interface that allows you to run some pretty complex calculations from the comfort of your wrist. It also features a dual-time display that lets you see different time zones side by side and the standard date indicators we've come to expect from most Casio digital models. This is a pretty cool watch to own if you're an engineer, mathematician, teacher, or numbers enthusiast. Sure, it seems like a bit of a novelty in today's high-tech world, but I think it's a great way to get off that phone screen and spend time running some old-school calculations. The number 8 position is held by Casio ProTrek PRG-240. Do you want your watch to look like a U.S. Army battle tank? If the answer's yes, then Casio has the watch for you. The ProTrek PRG-240 range is very similar to the GShock Casio watch range and is probably the manliest looking watch I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot of watches in my time. Built for the great outdoors, this badass timepiece seems to do it all. First up, it's solar powered, so there's no risk of battery failure in the middle of a 30-mile hike. This tank of a watch boasts 10-bar water resistance, a fully functioning compass, barometric pressure and altitude detector, a thermometer, and one hell of a solid casing to boot. That depends on what you look for in a watch. Digital watches feature more advanced functions, while analog watches are more formal. That's all for today. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button for the upcoming video notification.